Welcome to Bay Focus. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Always happy when you do, and it is such a busy time of the year. There's so many things going on, and we want to make sure that you can be a part of things, particularly around the holiday. There are various organizations and ministries that could use your help because they're meeting the needs of people. And we have two of those today. We're going to be talking to Pastor Moses Brown in just a moment from Feed Our Children Ministries, and boy, he has some opportunities for you that are immediate as well for there. And then we have the Red Tent Women's Initiative back with us. They were with us a few months ago, but they have a whole new initiative as well that they've done called the Red Tent Market. We're going to share that with you and how they are helping women that have been incarcerated both in prison and when they get out, and there's ways you can help them as well. So stay tuned. You want to see all of this. We're going to start today with Pastor Moses Brown, founder of Feed Our Children Ministries in Tampa. Thank you for coming back.
It's my pleasure.
We're always so happy to have you. Every year we do this, don't we? It's been for years and years now, because at Thanksgiving in particular, but Christmas and then year-round, you do things for families and children in need in this area. Explain to our viewers what Feed Our Children does.
Feed Our Children is something that God has put in my heart because there was a need. And usually when there's a need, He'll find somebody that He can use to fulfill that need. And I saw a need from a little boy that told me, I never had a Thanksgiving meal. And I didn't believe it first, Darlene, because it was something unusual to hear that. But he said, my mother was on crack, and what he had was a hot dog and French fries, and that was his thing. But he wanted one that they had on television. And so I brought in some people from the community. They fixed the dish. And this is how I know it was God, because we only had enough to really feed about 80 or to 100. And we told him to go and get his friends, and we'll bring the food to the community. He had over 400 some friends, Darlene.
Wow.
I said, oh God, what are we going to do here?
Loaves and fishes, right?
Yes. Where God guides, God provides.
Yes.
And I looked, my people around me, they said, hey, Pastor, you might need to close this down because you don't want to get no riot out here over food. I said, you know, God works this thing out. And I learned one thing. I said, if it's God's will, it's God's bill.
Yeah.
He handles it. He takes care of it. And we saw God do a miracle. Now, he don't just show up, but God shows out.
Yeah.
He came out, and we had food left over that people could take, even place with them. So I knew right then God was in it, and it was His divine will to bring us through. So every year when I come to this complex situation, trying to figure out what I'm going to do, He always comes through.
And what you do, that's a good segue, is you do a pre-Thanksgiving, right?
Yes.
Celebration. It's a full Thanksgiving meal. Tell us where this is this year.
It's going to be at 301 Dort Street. It's going to be Teen Plant Recreation Center in Plant City. The school system put together from different schools some of the poorest families that they had, and they registered them in our program for this year. And so they'll be coming out, it's over 200 families right there. And then we have the other community coming. So we'll be doing this November the 18th, Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
So when they get off of church, y'all can come right on out there at 2 o'clock. We're going to be celebrating Jesus. I try to give them a chance. And the Bible says, come unto me, all you who are laden and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Mm-hmm. We want to have a place where they can find that rest, the rest in Christ.
That's right.
And so when they come there, they'll find that peace that passes all understanding. Where we have the gospel music playing, we have people from every avenue out there helping. So these families, most of them are migrant families, they will find that Jesus still loves them also.
Well, let's show some pictures of some of the past dinners, and because this is a fun. You make it a fun activity, right?
Yes.
Tell our viewers what we're seeing.
Well, this is a combination of things. This is our Thanksgiving. One of the families that got our Thanksgiving treat last year. We also have volunteers that come out and they deliver presents to families. This is one of the things we've done in Columbine where when the shooting took place, We were right there counseling those families and those children there. This is part of elementary. One of the schools that was on the paper, front page of the paper, they said they weren't going to make it. We spent 2 years out there going once a week, encouraging them and letting them know that you can do anything you put your mind to it. And from that encouragement, we got a plaque from that, and they got from an F to a C.
Wow.
This was our book bag program we had over here in Pinellas County, and the kids came out and we served them also. This is one of the families. We go out and deliver the gifts. This is out in the rural area of Plant City, and we see a lot of families just bubble up when they see us coming because they know that we're trying to bring them good news. When the kids come out to the nursing home, this is Palm Gardens, they give us bags, and the kids go around and hug the elderly. I believe the elderly should be loved. And there's so many in nursing homes that don't get seen. We try to get out there to see them. This was a homeless family with you see the stroller there that we met that was sleeping in the park downtown Tampa. She said, we're not married. And so I bought the marriage part with them, and I married them right there in the park. And they have a legal, I said, you know, you should do it God's way. I said, you do it God's way, God will bless you. And right now they're all back together, working their family like it should be. This is the kids that we served. They came out. Some of the we don't only just give them gifts. We help them to learn how to give to others. So
is this all through the Thanksgiving or Christmas?
This is right before Thanksgiving.
Okay, right.
And this is all the things that Feed Our Children ministry do throughout the year.
Right.
We just came from South Africa, and these are the kids we helped over there, and that was their Thanksgiving. We supplied over there. We motivate them, we give them Jesus mainly, and we feed them, and we let them know that one day they'll be in a place where they'll never have no poverty anymore.
Yeah, well, you know, in showing these pictures, we see the breadth of what you do in the ministry, the mentoring, how you work with the young people, not only the Thanksgiving meal, but and the gifts for the holidays and everything that you do. And you travel, and this is one thing I'm glad you showed to South Africa, because that's what you've consistently done this. To start with, how many years have you done Feed Our Children Ministries, and particularly the Thanksgiving outreach?
We started Feed Our Children Ministry in 1986.
Wow.
And it was a few years after that when we met this young man. When it was in the parking lot where a young lady got shot, and the Tampa Police Department asked us, will you come out here and talk to the kids? They called it watch or get shot. And when the boy came to me, I said, well, listen, as long as I'm here, I'll make sure we provide a meal for you all.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to be this long. I didn't have no idea. But I stepped into faith, and in that faith realm, God has shown that this is His. And I let Him have it, and I said, Lord, use me as your vessel. Okay,
we want to make sure our viewers know, because this is an undertaking with everything you're doing. What could you use for help in pulling off this Thanksgiving and the Christmas outreaches to the gifts, everything? How can the viewers partner with you and help with that?
They can go to our website, feedourchildren.org, feedourchildren.org. You can sign up there to be a volunteer. We need monetary, whatever gift God put on your heart, we use that to buy turkeys and gifts. And we always say, Lord, send the people, inspire them to move how you want this to be done. So whatever we get, we use it. Everything is on the website. They can find out what we're doing in the future, and also in the past and in the present. They can participate.
Yeah, that's a really important thing. You've seen some serious miracles over the year. Every year we bring around last minute things have come through. Just suddenly God puts partnerships together and be able to get this meal. And again, it's you mentioned just real briefly, you make it into an event. This isn't just a meal, but you have music, you have activities, you have giveaways, all of that, correct?
It's the whole it's a festival.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it,
Yeah,
festival.
it's a festival, a Christian festival. Most of the people that's coming there have never been in a church. And so we give them a church experience.
Yeah.
You know, everywhere I've read where Jesus preached, he was outdoors.
Yeah.
And this is like being on the Mount of Olives, whatever. It's a place where they will come and they'll find Christ in a way that they can understand.
Right.
And we have a lot of them are Spanish speaking. And I said, Lord, how do you put me in this? Because I don't speak no Spanish. I know adios and
Hola.
But God he's unique.
Yeah.
He put me in a place where I didn't think I fit, but he'll fit you where he wants you to serve.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yes.
He'll fit you where he wants you to serve. He'll equip you. He'll make the way. Okay. Moses, thank you so much for coming on, and we don't have a complete time to share, but if you can just do it in a real short version, one of the big reasons that you do this is God, your birth mother chose to keep you after she had been brutally raped, and she did not abort you, and you were adopted, and you want to give back, right?
My mother asked my mother who adopted me there in Plant City. When she gave me the name Moses, she said, because I got you out of the bulrushes.
Yeah.
And she Moses Samuel Brown, so she went through the Bible. But when I asked her, darling, I said, Mother, how can I replay you back? How can I replay all the things you've done for me? She said, you can give back.
Yeah.
Give back. That's all I want you to do. The law of reciprocity says, you know, you put out there, you'll get it back. And
Yeah.
she said, I'm giving to you so you can give to others.
Yeah.
And that has been my whole ministry, because someone did for me when I couldn't do for myself. And here I am trying to help those who were something like me when I came through.
It brings a tear to my eye every time to think how you were given the gift of life, the choice
Yes.
was made.
Yes.
You were adopted into an incredible family. You ended up in ministry, and now helping so many children. You've replicated the blessings on your own life and others. It's just such an incredible story, and I want to say to our viewers too that Pastor Moses Brown is a pastor. He can speak and he can sing. I can tell you, he can sing. We bring him on to CTN periodically to sing, because he's just got a tremendous gift and anointing for music and preaching. So you could go into a church, share your ministry, share your vision, get
Gladly.
people, and just minister to that congregation. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
for
Darlene,
coming
for all you
back
do.
again this year. And on the screen again, you're going to see how you can reach Feed Our Children Ministries. This is, again, I say this so many times on this show, that there are ministries that have good ground, and we talk a lot about, in teaching in the Word of God, about sowing and reaping and how important seed time and harvest is. But you have to start with planting the seed. You have to start it right there, and this is one of those ministries that once you get involved and once you become partners with them, you'll never stop, because they just are an incredible ministry. So stay tuned. On the screen, here's how you can contact Feed Our Children Ministries, and we will be right back. You want to stay tuned. We have much more to share with you here today on Bay Focus. Hello, I'm Darlene Greenlee, and I want you to make room in your schedule each week to tune into Bay Focus. We are going to highlight local events, ministries, concerts. Reporter Brooke Larson goes behind the scenes at some of those concerts and talks to the music artists, local pastors, ministry leaders. Tune in each week. I'll see you on the next Bay Focus. Well, I hope you'll partner with Pastor Moses Brown and Feed Our Children Ministries right now. In fact, really, Thanksgiving holiday is upon us. They're doing this outreach coming up in November. You want to be a part of it. Well, we're going to tell you about, if you're not familiar with something called the Red Tent Women's Initiative, you're going to be today. This is such a great organization, and what they do to help women that are incarcerated and beyond, and they have some new things that they are doing to do that. But I want to introduce my guests, first of all, that are going to help talk to us about. They are staff members of the Red Tent Women's Initiative, and right here to my left is Stacy Tomlinson.
Hello.
There she is, there she is, and she is on staff, but she's also, and you're going to know the meaning of this, she's an actual artisan working with this organization, and that's a big part of what they do. And then Audrey Myers is back. She was with us the last time on with the founder. We came on with Barbara Road,
Yes.
The founder of this organization, and she is the community liaison for the Red Tent Women's Initiative. Thank you both for coming on
Thank you for
today.
having us.
Great to have you. To start with, Stacy, I know we have first-time viewers that maybe didn't get to see the show that we did with Red Tent some months ago. Tell them what Red Tent Women's Initiative does.
Well, I would love to do that. Barbara Rohde, who is the founder, is actually a family and marriage therapist.
Yeah.
She used to work especially with post-traumatic stress with people that were in the Army and in the service. And so one day she was at an estate sale in her neighborhood, and she noticed it was kind of odd that she found hair and a hairbrush, and so she asked, you know, what happened here? Well, there was a woman that was alone that had gotten divorced and ended up taking her life up in her bedroom. And so Barbara went upstairs to give her some warm thoughts or prayers, and then over on the bedstand there was a book, and it was called The Red Tent. Now, those of you that are familiar with biblical times, they used to have a red tent, and that's where women went to give birth or have their periods or talk about their husbands or whatever they needed from each other. And the tent was kind of worshipped, like no men were allowed, and they left flowers and stuff on the outside. So that's where it initially came from.
Yeah.
Now the red tent goes into the Pinellas County jails, which I have been in the Pinellas County jail in the past, you know, when I was younger, and they didn't have anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, I had to I called the chaplain, and I used to take up about an hour and a half of her time chatting with her, you know, and getting Bibles and stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine having a red tent, you know, where they come in and
Yeah,
they do
what do they
arts
do
and
inside? Yeah.
They come in and they do arts and crafts, and they teach women how to, you know, become independent and have a supplemental income by making these crafts and learning how to sew and stuff like that, so that when they get out, they just don't go back to the same life that they were living before, that they sometimes don't have a choice to.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
so,
think one of the things too that of what you guys do inside the prison is just the sense of foster a sense of community.
yes,
Talk, that they can just talk.
to have other women, and you know, it's proven also that when women get together, just like sometimes in the kitchen,
Yeah.
you know, and you're doing crafts together, that releases oxytocin to the brain, and it also helps work on your focus and you know, stuff like that, so that helps.
Yeah, yeah. I just thought this was so creative when I heard about it. Let me switch over to Audrey too. It's not only just what they do, what you guys do in the prisons, though. You do some follow-up, don't you?
Yes, it's also for women in the community as well. But we have a free therapist if they need it. We have a women's sobriety group on Friday nights at our store. Women are welcome to that. We have a support group on Mondays at the Perk office. It's an old Continental on Frontage Road. And then the store itself, we craft in the back of the store, so that's like our happy place.
Well, that is the, yeah.
So
Yeah,
women are welcome to come there.
Yeah.
And craft or learn to craft. And it would be nice to have some volunteers to come in and teach what they know, whatever craft they know how to do. So that would help some.
I love
also.
this.
Yeah, right.
I love you do so much more than beyond just, and I'm jumping in here.
Yes.
Because you've said something I want to make sure our viewers know, because Stacy has been so kind to send us, I love it, all kinds of pictures. This is new since you were on. You now have the Red Tent Market.
Yes.
And you mentioned the location.
It's 1535 16th Street South, St. Pete. That's our happy place.
I love it. And as we're talking about it, we're rolling pictures, okay? And just tell us what these are. Explain. These are things the ladies have made, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
how do they purchase?
All our materials are donations.
Okay.
And then we have different women that make jewelry. It's all handmade by women.
It's beautiful.
Handmade by women. Tote bags, all handmade. Different things. People do different things. You know, it's awesome though. Yep.
Well, how do they? You know, Stacy, you're an artisan. So do people come in that have your skills and abilities and train the women to do this? They're just not.
Well, we
making this
do
by
have
themselves.
some classes, and we always welcome anyone that wants to teach any classes, of course. You know, we just take the materials there, and, you know, we have people that teach to sew, and then we also have other classes and learn how to do things. But we pretty much just take the crafts and, you know, make whatever. We also, besides the store, we also go to markets every month. So we might go to 2 markets a month. Like our next market is going to be at the St. Pete side lot, which is a pretty big deal. It's on 2nd Avenue South by the brewery there. They take up about 2 blocks. So we're going to be there this Thursday. And then we're going to be at West Shore Plaza, which is Tampa Mall. We're going to be there for Black Friday from open to close. And then in December 23rd and December 15th. So we're going to have all of our crafts there.
Well, I really wanted to bring that out because here at the holidays, this is an opportunity for our viewers to purchase.
Right. And always welcome to come to the store. We have unique gifts right at the store.
And this is a way that these ladies are earning an income too. It goes back to them. All right, and while we're still continuing to show these pictures because there's just so many unique things that I see. And I'm seeing, are these volunteers that are helping, right?
Yes.
They're just, and different people coming on board.
She actually made that altar cloth for him.
Wow.
Yes.
I love it.
It was for a church,
Yes, I
You
was
wanted
there
it.
that day.
I love it. See, that's one of the things too. I want to mention, you know, churches can get behind this. This is a way to really do your faith in action. I like to use that term, faith in action. Get out there and do something that's community minded for women and be there for them. But let's, Stacy, you brought some show and tell. What are we looking at here?
Well, I just got into making fairy gardens, so if you can see here.
I love it.
And then I also make sugar scrubs. And I was a cosmetologist for over 20 years, so I'm like a product junkie, so I'm really picky about what I use. But this stuff is better than anything you do. And then at the markets, I do demonstrations, because then if people can feel it, they can see just from one use, you know, how soft your skin feels. It takes the discoloration away, all the dead skin cells, and it's got coconut oil, so it soaks right into your skin. It's all I wash my body and face with, like I swear by it.
It's all homemade stuff. My goodness.
Yes.
And this is all things that would be available there. All right, so what if there's somebody that does what you do, or like you said, you know, they may have a product or something that they know how to do. They feel that they would like to be able to exhibit with you or train some of the ladies come out. How does that work? Like somebody's viewing right now, and then you say, boy, I make this or that. I would love to connect with the Red Tent market and help support them. Is the products you do exclusively of the ladies making it from coming out of prison? Or do you do separate, like people come and make things?
We do separate things, you know. We all have our own thing that we like to do. We haven't really had too much problem with us competing against each other or anything. We just kind of do our own thing.
It all goes to help the women of Red Tent.
Right, exactly.
But besides craft donations, which we do get a lot of, you know, for the holidays and stuff, we are accepting any donations because, you know, we have to keep up with paying our staff, you know. It's important that we keep these girls making stuff and getting a supplemental income. And also if we can employ them 1 or 2 days a week at the store, you know, that keeps them off the street. And, you know, you really realize that if you don't help the women, you're not helping our future generation.
That's right.
Because how many children don't have their mother, or, you know, so it's really an important cause.
Well, I really wanted to get the word out about this Red Tent market at the holidays. So when can the general public go? What are the hours, days?
Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 4. Fridays until 5. Friday evenings at 6, we have women's sobriety. group, and Wednesday evenings, 5 to 8, we craft, and it's open to
Okay, so you're
women.
not only, you're not only open as a storefront selling these materials,
Right.
but you're doing the training sessions.
Absolutely.
People come do the crafting,
Yep.
which that itself is therapy.
Right.
And you can also, if you come in, you sign in a log, and then we'll have like classes, like our next class is making angels or something, you know. But you also sign in and you put your email or phone number. That way, anytime we have an event or something going on, we can email you.
Oh, that's great.
Or we have the Facebook, which is always updated on all our events and what's going on, and that's the Women's Red Tent Initiative.
Yeah, and this is just, you know, I'm always amazed. This was to see you guys all connected, to see Barbara's, she saw a need. You know, she was just going into the prison and she
Right.
saw this need.
Find
She
a
saw
need
this
and fill it.
and all of this
It is
now.
a big need.
It's
Yeah.
what one person can do.
Yeah, and we see it growing and
Yeah.
growing and growing.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I just want to get the word out too if anybody has a loved one or has been or knows a situation connected with Pinellas County Jail in there. The red tent's coming into the prison,
Right.
so they connect that loved one
Yeah.
with
They
red
just
tent.
have to be sentenced to get into the class. They take 15 women at a time. They have a waiting list now, but it's
My
a
goodness.
great thing, and they're there
Wow.
3 days a week.
That's awesome.
And we're there for them when they get out.
Right.
And, you know, we
Yeah.
have connections with,
Yeah.
you know, places they can
We
go,
have-
transitional
Okay.
housing,
Yeah.
clothes, all
Well, that's
that
all
stuff.
important. We're going to have to
Yes.
stop at that too. We're
Okay.
running out of time.
Okay.
So you will connect them to whatever they need, their
Yes,
particular
yeah.
needs and
We have
resources.
Bus passes,
Bus
clothes,
pass.
yep.
Awesome. This is the full
Hair done.
full service. That's real important.
Yeah.
Real important. Okay. All right, we're going to show you once again on the screen how you can contact the Red Tent Women's Initiative. We'll be right back. Well, I love it. I love the Red Tent Women's Initiative. Love what they're doing with the Red Tent Market and markets on the road. So you can find them in different locations here at the holidays. And then earlier in the show, Feed Our Children Ministries once again doing incredible outreach to families and children at the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. But coming up right now is that pre-Thanksgiving dinner, Plant City. If you can help them any way you can. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I'm always glad when you do. We will see you next week. Connect with us on social media. I'd love to hear from you. God bless you.